So this is gonna sound a bit weird, but I just got over a back injury, and I think it's one of the greatest things to ever happen to me as a runner. So let's start with a little context. First off, hello newcomers, my name is Ken. I'm a mid-30s dad and relative newbie runner who only started running a few years ago as a means of exploring my mental and physical potential, and because I like beer and I didn't feel like buying new pants. But this channel is all about being intentional with our bodies through natural motion. I'm also in the process of running all 1,620 streets of my home city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, but I have other videos about that. This video essay is almost a journal entry to myself to cover how a back injury has made and will make me an even better runner than I was before. A little over a month ago, on one of my rest days, believe it or not, I was leaning over the hood of my wife's car, checking the oil. Yep, we drive beaters, when I felt a snap of pain up from the left side of my lower back that cut down through my glute and my leg, but then it was gone as soon as it appeared. The same thing happened about a week later, while I was pulling some clothes out of the washing machine. Again, came and went, didn't think anything of it. Later that day, I had a really enjoyable 10-mile run and came home feeling good. But the next morning, I woke up with a back made of plywood. I couldn't straighten it up all the way. I also couldn't even lean forward enough to properly brush my teeth. That definitely canceled my plans for a long run and any running until I could get this figured out. I would go for tensed up and painful walks just to get some steps in over the next couple days. When it didn't seem to be getting any better, I shot a message over to my doctor with my symptoms, and he pretty much diagnosed me with having an SI joint issue, very possibly a sprain. The SI, or sacroiliac joint, is a weird joint between your sacrum, that bone at the bottom of your spine, and your ilium, which are those two almost wing-shaped aspects of your hips and pelvis. This joint barely moves at all, but helps shift your pelvis and hips during your gait cycle. And if you want to feel it in action, just place a finger on one side of your lower back where those dimples would appear, and then shimmy that knee back and forth. Yeah, there it is. All sorts of things can mess with that joint, but the main two offenders, to my understanding anyway, are sudden trauma, like falling on your tuchus, or a muscular imbalance. For several weeks, I would follow a regimen of exercises, glute bridges, bird dogs, donkey kicks, anything to strengthen my back and my glutes to help stabilize and correct that imbalance. I tried wearing supportive SI belts, sleeping on the floor, and all kinds of things. The tension in my back would loosen up throughout the day, and then, wham, stiff as a board the next morning. Spitting toothpaste everywhere but the sink. Then one evening, while I was out for an evening walk, I noticed where my glute and my hamstring connected felt laser tight. When I got home, I knew I had to do something about this. Painfully, I pulled my effective leg up onto a kitchen chair, straightened my knee, which was no easy feat by the way, and began to bend at the waist, torso towards my toes. Not much, mind you, but heaps compared to what had been possible. After about 20 seconds of stretching that hamstring, I put my foot down. When it hit the floor, I didn't feel the same catch in my lower back. The next morning, I woke up more limber than I'd been in a month. Before all of this hamstring stretching business, I'd made an appointment with my doctor because things hadn't been improving. I kept the appointment, which ended up being a conversation with a physical therapy resident. I explained my borderline epiphany to her, and then she just started to ask me some questions. So, before all these lower back issues, what was your warm-up like before going for a run? I just kind of, a little shimmy, a little back and forth, and start the watch, and off I'd go. Right, and after you were done running, what was your post-run stretching like? My what? No, I would just go take a shower. Oh, and what did your strength training look like on your non-running days? Well, on my off days, I mostly just do laundry. And when you finally did stretch your hamstring, the pain went away? Yeah, almost like magic. Ah, yes, the magic of very basic mobility work. Just for the record, she wasn't as sarcastically cruel, but it probably was what she was thinking. So yes, my own newbiness was showing. I thought I could get away with not warming up, not cooling down, not really doing any strength training. But really, I feel immensely blessed that this happened to me. Why? Well, because I don't think some article, some video, or even professional simply warning me about the consequences of not properly preparing my body for running 20 to 30 miles a week, mostly on city streets, would have gotten through to me. I'm hoping that you, the person watching this, are not as thick-headed as me. But the takeaway of this little video essay is not a message about proper strength and mobility work. No, the message I wanted to get across is about our response to pain in our fitness lives. Too many of us simply want something else that intervenes with our pain. We want to numb it, we want to pad it, brace it, have it fixed for us. But in our fitness lives, what if we didn't think of pain as a nuisance to be fixed by something? What if we approached it as a messenger of how we can fix what is wrong? And I'm not talking about healing at this point. If something is torn, broken, or otherwise injured, it needs to heal. But we have to stop and think, what happened to cause this sprain, strain, break, or other injury? What were we doing that was too much or not enough to make this injury occur? The human body is a miraculous creation of very intentional design. All of our components work together like an orchestra to perform intricate movements and endure immense stressors if the proper care is taken. And when we begin to exceed our body's current level of fitness too soon or do too much or move in ways contrary to our mechanics, that's when we get hurt. But these hurt times should be treated not as wallowing pity parties and quests for more outside interventions, but as introspective times. It took me being literally stopped in my tracks to get me to learn about the sacroiliac joint, a body part I never even knew existed. What I'm learning even more than about the SI joint or the glute-hamstring relationship, is that when pain or discomfort appears, instead of muffling it, bracing it, or numbing it, this is a time to stop and assess, what am I currently or have been doing wrong before I truly need the medical interventions? So here's to asking, what is this discomfort trying to say? Anyways, that's all. I'm Ken. Stay kinetic.